Charlie Kirk, founder and executive director, and Candace Owens, director of communications for Turning Point USA.
Are we down here? Oh, hello. This is so amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and I hope we get to keep the energy up. I know it's 8 p.m., but we're feeling really energized.
Well, Candace, you know, the last couple days have been interesting. I think 2 days ago, our day started at 3:45 a.m. West Coast time. We did Fox and Friends together for the first time, which was really exciting. Went back to the hotel, just had nothing to do, so we decided to run a couple miles, go do the Dennis Prager show, the Ben Shapiro show, go meet with a couple donors, then go film a documentary at UCLA, drive to Orange County through 3 hours of traffic, raise a little bit more money, do another TV interview, get 3 hours of sleep, and do it all over again. So that's kind of a typical day at Turning Point USA.
So if we've got energy, you guys have got to have energy, let me tell you.
Candace Owens first met Charlie Kirk in 2017, when Turning Point USA was still a young and fast-growing organization. At a TPUSA event on November 21, 2017, Charlie announced that he was hiring her as the new Director of Urban Engagement, a moment Owens later described as him hiring her on the spot. From that first meeting, a strong connection formed. They were both ambitious, driven, and eager to reshape the conservative movement, and that shared mission quickly pulled them into the same path.
She saw the future in a lot of ways.
I did. I really did. And I think the reason why I knew that it was going to be a perfect partnership between Charlie and I is because I understood how it was plausible that black people have been voting Democrat, that we just thought that we had to be Democrats because we were black, that we just assumed that liberals had our best interests at heart and that conservatives were racist, because I used to think like that. I'm a pretty smart girl, but I actually believed all this stuff, and when I started coming up out of this sleepy coma of liberalism, I said to myself, how did I get convinced? Who brainwashed me?
After joining TPUSA, Candace and Charlie traveled together across college campuses in the United States and even into Canada, delivering speeches and building the organization's presence. Owens would later say that during this period, we were totally locked in, capturing how close they became through the intensity of their work. Their partnership wasn't just strategic or professional, it developed an easy, natural rapport. Owens recalled the early days when no one really knew who either of them was, but they believed deeply in what they were building together. She even shared personal moments, like introducing Charlie to Kanye West and the two of them listening to Power before going on stage.
Feminism is much more about hating men than empowering women. Because if the feminist left truly cared about empowering women, they would be marching in the streets, celebrating, thanking Donald Trump for the first ever female director of the CIA in Gina Haspel.
When Candace officially joined TPUSA in late 2017, it marked the start of a powerful partnership, and an even stronger friendship. Charlie quickly became more than simply a founder or a boss. To her, he was like a brother, someone she trusted, supported, and grew alongside as their roles expanded. Together, they helped launch major projects, including Turning Point UK, blending their professional collaboration with a personal bond built on shared purpose.
Charlie and me were always laughing. Yes, he was ambitious. Everybody knows Charlie is ambitious. I met him back in 2017 when Turning Point was this very young organization. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who Charlie Kirk was. And Charlie was always wearing these really baggy suits. I mean, they looked like they were hand-me-downs from 3 generations because he was focused on the ideas. He didn't care about his appearance. He was laser focused on what he knew Turning Point could become. Not could become, but would become.
As their influence grew, Charlie and Candace's friendship was shaped by energy, ambition, and countless hours spent side by side. Campus trips turned into long conversations, strategy meetings turned into laughter, serious moments alternated with warm teasing and inside jokes. Charlie admired Candace's fearless presence, the way she could command a room with confidence. Candace admired Charlie's steadiness, strategic mind, and unwavering loyalty. They pushed each other, defended each other, and celebrated each other's wins with the pride of close friends rising together.
You don't understand, like, the divinity of him tweeting that? Like,
I'm living in the 21st century. There's something meaning to it.
You don't understand, like, the divinity of him tweeting that? Like,
I'm living in the 21st century. There's something meaning to it.
Their friendship moved effortlessly between work and warmth, sharpening arguments before a speech, then laughing about something small from the road, planning the next big project, then sharing music or stories to ease the travel. And through speeches, interviews, and endless days on the road, they carried a shared sense of we're doing this together. For a meaningful stretch of both of their lives, that connection shaped their work, their direction, and their journey, not just as colleagues, but as friends who believed in each other and in what they were building.
And how is your relationship with Candace Owens nowadays?
She's a great friend. You know, look, I don't agree with everything Candace says, but you know what I don't do? I don't stop being friends with people just because people morally blackmail me. I don't do that, and you shouldn't either. Look, I have different views on things as Candace. I have different views on Israel than Candace. I have different views on a lot of geopolitics. But honestly, I traveled the country with Candace. I went to her wedding. I saw her meet her husband. I went to Israel with Candace, which is a fun story I'll tell you at some point. But what I don't like is when people demand, you must stop being friends with somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a left-wing tactic. Don't do that. I'm not saying you do that, but other people do that. We should never resort to that. In fact, if you believe what I believe, shouldn't you want me to be friends with people that don't agree with us? Shouldn't you want me to also be a tool of influence? And so I think the world of Candace. She's a great mother. She certainly has very, very fun opinions at times. And she's a great talent. She says a lot of stuff that sometimes I don't agree with, but that's what makes our relationship and our friendship interesting. My advice to all of you, you might not like somebody, but never tell somebody like me to stop being friends with somebody on an interpersonal level just because of disagreement. It's bad. It's what the left does, and we should rise above it as conservatives. Thank you so much.
Charlie Kirk's response about Candace Owens feels surprisingly warm and grounded. Instead of dodging the question, he leans into honesty, admitting that he and Candace disagree on major issues, especially geopolitics, yet emphasizing that disagreement shouldn't destroy real friendships. His message pushes back against the pressure to morally blackmail people into cutting ties, reminding the audience that true conviction means engaging, influencing, and staying connected even when views diverge. By sharing personal moments, traveling together, attending her wedding, witnessing important milestones, he shows that their bond is deeper than politics. In the end, his reaction becomes less about Candace Owens and more about a principle. Friendships built on respect are stronger than any ideological divide.
What is cis?
Cis? I think we're cis.
Are we cis?
We're cis. Cisgender.
Do we call each other like cis?
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
no, but
I can't learn.
I think cisgender
what's
is.
Zer?
What is Zer?
What is Zer?
Those are pronouns for low IQ people
okay.
that are too afraid to engage in reality. Z and Zer and Zim and Zay.
Zim. What is that?
Pronouns that people put in their email signature.
But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. You know, he was like, we were really close. And he was my best friend and my brother.
Creativity, purity, and honesty is honesty. Everybody's wrong laws. Reality is catching up with me. It's my image I'm fighting for custody.